There's something there that streamlines all the way through us. And I think that's the ability to care about each other. No matter what tool you're using, as long as you're caring about other people, as long as there's some selflessness to you and there's humility, you're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. It's when you lose that and you lose it to fear, fear will gobble it. It will gobble it up and make you worry only about yourself, and then you'll be gone.
That's the trailer right there. What's up, Taj? How you doing?
Everything is good. I'm feeling great.
Welcome back to the podcast.
I know, man. I gotta apologize to you. I've been meaning to tell you something.
What's that?
Last time that I was here, everything that I said, obviously, like, I meant it, but I was like not feeling good around that time. Just not feeling good, like not feeling like myself around that time. It doesn't change the facts of things that were going on and like in life and the things that I believe. I definitely was there, but I remember looking at myself then, and I remember I wasn't too happy around that time. So
happy with life or physically tired that day?
Happy with life. I just was like, it was one of those times where I was just thinking like everything that I've done. I was just kind of in that mode where I was kind of thinking like, what am I doing all this for? Like, why did I do all this stuff? Like, you know, like an
existential reviewing of life.
It was like one of those things. Like, you know, I had been outside actually for about an hour before I came in here last time. Sitting in the old spot where I used to sit.
No shit.
Yeah, and it was like full circle, but the full circle, it made me come to this thought of like, man, what am I doing? Like, why am I here? You know, I'm sitting on the old steps where I used to sit on, like right beneath the tennis courts over there.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there for a while.
It's nice to have that.
Yeah, then I called you. I was like, I'm here, but I've been here.
Well, I like that you had that moment. I think we do need those moments of reflection.
Yeah, we do.
Because we're so in the zone, like too busy driving to get gas. We're just going. Right,
right,
like, wait a minute, do I even want to be on this road?
Right.
Because maybe it was good so far.
Right.
But maybe now I got to make a...
Well, you get to the things, like when you first start, you have no point of reference. So it's like, you think you know what you want to happen for you, right? And then you get to a point where you're not even... where you adopt this, I guess this, well, like I did, I adopted this kind of this feeling or this, I wanted to do it for other people. I wanted to do what I was doing for other people. So it's the rule where it's like, you know, number 2 is the new number 1. And I had gotten all the things that I thought equaled up to success.
Now, when you mean do it for other people, what do you mean by that?
I mean, just like what we're doing as artists, it's like, I create for, like, I have to feel good about it, right? I have to feel good about it. But ultimately, when it goes out into the public, it's for them. It's for them to take in is the conversation. Like, you can't have a conversation with just you and yourself. Like,
right.
Having like all this stuff on the hard drive and never putting it out, like one of those artists where it's like, yeah, look at this. This is great. And the only way you can experience is if you come to the guy's house.
Right.
It's just, I never wanted to be that guy. So when I realized that, like, yo, what I'm doing for other people is being honest with myself. I'm being honest with myself, and in turn, that's, you know, it ends up being for other people. And if you like it, great. If you don't, okay. But the ultimate question is like, why? And that's where the dialogue comes in, and that's where we find progression.
I like the way you put that. What I'm doing for other people is being honest with myself. What I'm interpreting by that is that you're honest with yourself when you're making the art of like, do I like this or not? Does it feel right? Does the shot feel right?
Right.
And once it clicks in your heart, that's your honesty, you give it to them.
Exactly.
Okay, that's a great way to describe it. I never heard it said that way. That's dope. So, but you had realized that then when you came here before the podcast, or you were thinking about, that was one of the things you were thinking about? It was
one of the things that I was thinking about. It was one of the things that I was thinking about. And then it was like this question that I never really asked myself, which is what's next? You know, because the what's next to me is like, I've had a what's next. Like, oh, I think this is going to happen next. And then that doesn't happen next. You see what I'm saying? And then it's like, okay, now what? So now it's just kind of like, I don't know. People are like, "Oh, what are you doing in what do you think you're doing in April?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm just going day by day, project by project, and I'm only focused on that project. In this moment, I'm focused on this podcast.
Yes.
Right now.
Absolutely.
Right now. The only thing I can give to you right now is what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, and then based on how that plays out, the truth of that will lead you to the next step.
Exactly. But I'm comfortable with moving on to the next step because I know that I'll give it my all in that moment.
That's a good way to put it. You know, when I it's funny because I was having a similar thought about my career recently of like, okay, I've been in LA for like 13 years now. I've been doing videos for like almost 20. It's like, okay, but now why do I want to keep doing it? What's the point of continuing, right? And I think there's like, I try to break it up into sections. There's the money I want to make to take care of my family. right? Which is a need I have even if I wasn't an artist. I would have to find a way to do that, right? It just so happens that I can do that while making my art, right? But then sometimes the art that pays me the best isn't the one that I'm most excited about.
Right. You have to do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do.
Yeah, so now I'm almost starting to separate those things, as in like there is the money-making mission and there's the art mission, and I hope they cross, right? But like if I'm gonna make more money in a corporate commercial, I'll do it, even though it's not my thing, you know what I mean?
Right.
But then I take that, so I'm still doing my art, but it's not my favorite version of that art. But then when I do my shit, I try to unleash there. Like in my mind, I'm trying to separate those things. And then like what we were talking about before we started, AI.
Right.
That's a big conversation I want to get in with you about, right? Because it's exciting. Like it could be dystopian, but it could also be utopian.
Right.
Right? There's no guarantee it's going to go either way.
I think it depends on who you are. It's either going to be utopian in your heart, in the way that you perceive it, in the perspective that you take, or it's going to be dystopian. It's going to be, so you're going to have some people walking around like zombies, sad zombies, and some people that are going to be elated and find something with this, that they find a new world that not only can they exist in, but they can thrive in.
Yes.
And I think it's really up to you, and it really is at that front gate. It's when that gate opens and the horses start racing. You know what I'm saying? That horse that thinks about it for just a second too long. A second too long is like the horse that ends up, falling dead last. You know what I mean? And but at the start of it, it looked like everyone started at the same time, and it's just not like that. It's like it's really one of these times right now where everyone's being tested at once. It's like, who are you? What are you made of? And you find out what you're made of in the dark, or in like the looming of the darkness.
Yes, absolutely. The challenges call us to potentially be great. Yeah. And yeah, it's what we do with the technology, right? Because we were talking earlier, like when video came and it was erasing film. Not erasing film, but making it to where you could shoot on a red camera.
Well, you said erasing film, even if it was by accident, that's what the fear was.
Yeah.
That's what the fear was, right?
People can still shoot film.
Right, you can.
It's just now...
It's one of those things where it's like, people say, it's like, hey, you know what I really want to do? I really want to shoot something on film. Looking around.
Yeah, we're like, oh damn, are you serious about this?
It's like, oh, okay. It's like, are you prepared for all that's going to take? Do you remember what that's like? And how many cans do you want? And do you have the idea down? Because you really need to know your shooting ratio, because if you don't, you can really run out of film. You can't just run 60 forever.
Yes.
60 frames forever and dump down later and just do that just because you're burning something that's physical.
Right. It's literal footage. It's how many feet of film.
Exactly.
People don't always know that.
Exactly. So all your like decision making and lack thereof or whatever, it's still burning. You can hear it on that mag running.
What do you think are some of the biggest fears you hear people say about AI? Even if you don't agree with them, what are the fears that you're hearing in your circles?
That the people that haven't put in the work are going to feel like they can stand next to us and beat their chest. And be able to fool the people that have the money that become less concerned with who's talented, and become they just mesh everyone together. It's like the talented, the gifted, the people that have worked hard, went to film school and everything, and then you just mesh the people that can write these prompts and pay that whatever Sora is going to charge.
Yeah.
When the ultimate AI comes out, when I say that again, the ultimate AI comes out, and all these like little booby trap AI Westerns that go away and have bad logos when it's probably owned up all by Sora anyway, just to gain information and to see who we are.
Yeah, and okay, so let's break down that fear, right?
Yeah.
So let's try to understand, before we refute it, let's understand it. So they're saying that like, okay, we've put in the work to know how to get the shot, to write.
We have the relationship.
The relationship, yes.
Right.
So somebody else to come in that didn't put in the work, didn't pay their dues, they could fool the client by just having AI do it for them. And maybe part of that fear also is that it's going to lose some of the soul, some of the human touch to it, right? So that's the understanding of that fear. But the way I look at it is that could happen anyway, even with real people, because what they're doing is they're becoming producers. Exactly. Creators are now going to be producing projects.
Right.
They're going to, like, my buddy just did an animated short film using the new Google VO. He had early access to it, and his daughter or somebody just like said like, I have a story, and just like started ranting. He recorded her voice, made prompts and did it, and it's like, okay, so now somebody can execute what they see in their mind. Whereas before, you could have that idea, but if you didn't know animation, it just dies with you.
Well, that's the fear that I hear people saying, but I think there's something deeper than that. And I think it's the fear that the relationship is kind of like the movie Her. He felt like Joaquin Phoenix felt like the relationship was just with him and her. And then he realizes that she has a relationship with everybody. And that's the thing about being an artist, is that you dedicate yourself and you say, hey, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. And it talks back to you when you put in the work. There's like these things that happen and you're all alone when it happens.
Yeah.
And it tells you like, okay, I'm riding with you. I'm going to open up things about you in different chapters that are going to allow you to go further and touch more people. And I've had thank God, I've had I won't even say the luxury, just I've been blessed enough to be able to touch like what it felt like the entire world.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so at one time, and so like, you know, I don't know. I think that people are just afraid of that it's going to be, that we're going to be less valued. But I always say this, it's like whatever your fears are, whatever you have a fear of losing, if you feel like you can really lose it, then you haven't done what it takes to protect it, or you haven't been protecting the right thing. And so I feel like you got to step it up because it's here.
I love the way you talk, man. I'm just saying that rings so true to me, because at least for me, like as an immigrant coming to this country, we always had to, it was like nothing's gonna be given to you. You just pull up and do it.
Right.
Either be great or don't be great.
Right.
And even if you're great, you might still get fucked over.
Right.
So then be great and smart.
Have you forgotten the rules of the game, that you don't know all the rules to the game as the game is going forward? Whoever's controlling the game, you know, this thing called life, if things are going to change.
Yes.
It's susceptible to change at any given time. You know what I'm saying? And if you are booted out of this thing, then you spend too much time being afraid and not enough time claiming your stake. Like, no, I'm here to stay.
Yes.
I'm here to stay. Welcome everyone that comes in.
Yes. And,
You know what I mean?
even if you do make it and everything goes great, you could still be Kobe and go into the side of a mountain.
Right.
So even if all your dreams come true and you crush it, it's still going to end eventually. So we
Right.
might as well go for the win.
Right.
Why?
I mean, it's just that thing. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
you got Rembrandt to Brian Coss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got Rembrandt and Brian Coss. Both are valuable.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Both are valuable. And like, you know, it's just like, I'm just like, yo, you gotta step it up, man. You gotta step it up, and you gotta figure out a way. And my thing like this is like, okay, well, prompts, right? Let's make that an art now.
Yes.
So now
it's giving directions.
I took my prompts and like, so I did this all AI music video, right? I saw your text really late, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah. He's like, thanks, Taj. That's what I was texting you about. But I did this all AI music video. You guys can check it out. It's King NTG, and this is a song called Redemption. And I heard this song. It's my boy up in the Bay. He's a phenomenal artist and lyricist, and he had this song, and I heard it, and I was like, you know what? Let me welcome AI. Let me put my suit on and welcome AI at the door. And so I was like, I'm gonna take someone that I don't know, someone I've never heard of, someone I've never seen their work, and I'm gonna collaborate with them. Something that I never really do.
Like an AI artist?
They're not even an AI artist. I was like, I said, who wants to collab with me on a music video? Of course, that came ringing through. Here, boom. I picked the first person that I saw. All right, come on. And I was like, okay, look, I don't know you. I don't want to look at your work. Don't send me any links. Don't send me anything. I don't know how much experience you have, if you have any at all.
Yeah.
We're going to do this music video, and here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to send you the song. You cannot talk to the artist. We'll talk to the artist once. After that, you're not allowed to talk to the artist or anything like that. Here are the lyrics. Here's everything. Grab your prompts. I'm going to do the same thing. Grab my prompts. We're going to bring them together. I'm going to take them. I'm going to mix them all up, and I'm going to give them to my editor, because I want to see, there's two things that I want to see. This is a person that's been working with me for a long time, my editor.
Okay.
Will he be able to tell the difference between my prompts and hers?
Wow.
That's going to tell me something. Sometimes he did, and sometimes he got it wrong. He got it wrong more than he got it right.
Wow.
Right, which tells me it's like I'm creating these theories as I go, right? And so I'm like, what I want to know is, here's me, right? Music video director, been doing this for about 19 years. All this success, all these accolades, all this other stuff, blah 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 blah. Here's a person that's probably just getting started.
Yeah.
Right. That I'm unaware of until I talk to her, and we're going to create this video together. And I just wanted to see if you could really tell. There's one particular shot where you can really tell that it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that all I needed was one shot. And that
like
was
one mic,
too.
but it's one
all
shot.
I needed was one shot
shot.
to see where Taj still exists by himself in this AI thing. And here's a person. This is what we're really afraid of. We're really afraid of the person that we don't know. Her name was Jordan Ching, by the way. Shout out to Jordan. I just wanted to see. I wanted to see a person, and that's why it had to be a person that's never worked with me before, because I didn't want anything that was biased.
Yes.
I didn't want anything where someone's used to me having meetings with me, knows the way that I talk, knows
You get to see if your soul shines through.
Right. That's exactly. I got to see if my soul shot. It did. And I'm saying, like, it wasn't like, oh, well, it didn't do it enough. It was like, no, the video was great. Love the video. But it was that one shot where I was like, where Dre was like, this is for sure you. And I'm like, whew, I'm safe. That's all I need to see for the rest of, now the AI is, that's it. And now
That's a great gut check.
Now I can offer AI a drink.
Yes.
We can relax now. It's like, okay.
Bro, I love that experiment because that is the fear, right? It's going to, aside from taking the job or whatever, is that the humanity is going to be lost. It's going to replace you. But really, what makes you a great artist is that instinct.
Right.
Is the fact that you felt like it needs to be this kind of scene. And really, even without AI, a director has to write down the directions.
Right.
You have to tell the art department, the DP, and this, and it's a lot. You have to verbalize it.
Right.
Right? It's like when a client says, I need to pop more.
Right.
Pop can mean a million things. What do you mean by pop?
Right.
Is it a color difference? Is it a color matte? Is it a brightness pop? Is it a contrast? It's like, okay.
Right.
So the same way that we have to translate what the client is saying to like, what do they mean by pop or make it cool? Your cool and my cool are two different things. You need cool temperature, right? The same way we have to distill that into words from a client relationship, we have to do the same with the AI, right? To really get it down because it's still your idea. Like I have so many treatments in my head that I've written for like songs for major artists that I've never met. You know what I mean? I have like Jay-Z treatments in my head. I'm like, well, I don't know him, but if I did, I would do it. You know what I mean? There's a part of me that almost wishes like I should take some time out of the year just to shoot my own Jay-Z videos, just to show him I could. But now that might help.
That might help. Even that thought process, and even if it's not the Jay-Z video you shoot, but you take that same approach to anything else, you're putting that out into the universe. This is how I see it.
Yeah.
I see it like we're waiting. You're waiting for your number to be called, right? Like there's something when you put it into the universe, you put a ticket out there. You say, I got my ticket. You know, ticket you pull at DMV.
Yeah.
And you're just waiting for someone to call you. You're just waiting for your time. But if you don't believe in that, then you probably won't do the work.
Yes.
You won't pull the ticket. You'll never show up. You know what I'm saying? So you got to show up.
Do you think maybe it's just on social media, but it feels like that spirit of what you're saying is dying in America as a culture?
Yeah. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And I think that like the hard work thing, like, you know, work hard. I think it's starting to like, you know, that used to be something that used to be shouted all the time. Work hard, you work hard. It's like, well, you work smart now. You have to work smart, and working hard and working smart, I think that we need to talk about that a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So you can understand what that means, you know what I mean? And the working hard is the hard work right now, to me, is finding out what is the most advantageous? Like, what can I do that makes the most sense right now? What am I not seeing? Where is the hard work? Maybe it's not in like, you know, like walking out to every agency like I used to do and just sit in the lobby at Interscope.
Right.
And just sit there until they're like, what do you want? You know what I mean?
I love that.
Maybe that's what I used to do. I used to just sit there. Like, I'm not going anywhere to talk to somebody. You know what I mean? Like, right before getting arrested, you know, but here I am. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's not the hard work. What's the hard work now? And it's like, you got to ask yourself the right questions. If you have all the right answers to the wrong questions, then it doesn't matter.
Right.
So it's like, it doesn't matter. So I'm just like, AI is here. I'm not denying that. I'm not going to stand on this whole front where it's like, no, real artists. I was AI to people that were oil painters.
Exactly. Yes. There always is that
Photoshop,
new person.
But it's Photoshop. And I'm just like, like, what's your favorite thing about Photoshop? I'm like, Apple delete. Apple Z.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's all to me, it's been this theory where it doesn't matter what it is. It's how you make people feel.
Yes.
How you make people feel, and the relationship between me and you or any other human, that's all that really matters is how you make it feel. No, it doesn't matter how I did it. Does it really matter how I did it? Or it just matter how I feel?
And we're kind of already using AI. Like when you take a photo on your iPhone, the AI makes the sky blue.
Right.
It always gets really blue in the sky. Whereas with the DSLR camera, you got to expose separately, right? It's like, well, we've been using AI.
Can we admit that we're selfish?
Yes.
That we're selfish, and then it's only when we feel threatened.
Yeah.
In our corner of the world, only when we feel threatened is it a problem, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, look, we're all here together. Things are going to happen. Our number has been pulled to be tested.
Yes.
No one tested at the same time. So here we go. We're being tested. So all you know, like artists, they're going to get attention and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. It's like, well, I guess that means that with everything you were doing, as you know, with all your hard work and all your studying at night, maybe you don't see it as valuable. Because if you did see it as valuable, you wouldn't be afraid.
Yes.
You wouldn't be afraid. You know what I'm saying?
And it's that spirit of adventure. Like what you're saying rings so true to my head and my heart. Even the way my parents raised me, they're both, dancers. My dad escaped Cuba as a dancer. You know what I mean? To go to Brazil. It's like we've always been artistically like going for it. And what I always thought of the world is that it's full of challenges, it's full of problems, and there's a million ways that it could fuck you over. That's the baseline.
Your dad escaped Cuba as a dancer?
Yes.
This is going to be messed up, and no one can be offended by it. You should see the thought in my head. We're talking about prompts.
Yeah.
So you said your dad escaped Cuba as a dancer.
Yes.
I saw your dad dancing, escaping Cuba. Which is
just like doing a big.
Hey, don't be mad at me. No one that sees this be mad at me. Don't be mad at me. This is the way my brain works. Like, and I've been used to working like that. When I see something, you said something that was a prompt. All of a sudden, I just saw your dad like escaping but dancing his way out of it. Like
just doing pirouettes.
I'm sorry. I know it's like, bro, don't be so insensitive. I know, but
No,
I'm just
that's
saying.
funny, bro.
It's AI's fault, man. It's AI's fault because every day, every night, like she knows my girl. I just stay up. I stay up, man. I stay up. But I make sure to keep, I'll be on a runway or something like that, and I'll just be testing it. So it's like I know that it's there, and because I know that it's there, I give it attention. Like, what do you do? Like, give your child attention. There's a new child here. I have to adopt a new child. Okay, and I have to give this new child attention, and I'm giving it attention every. So I'm like, oh, okay. I wonder what it says if I say this. I'm looking in dictionaries. I'm looking at thesaurus now, and I'm trying to figure out like who I am. I'm looking at old treatments. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are some of the verbiage that I used then, and how's that going to like shine through here? Oh, maybe if I write it like this instead. Set the tone first. Set the tone of what I want to do from establishing. Let's start from the top of the shot. Is that what you want? Is that what you want? Oh, she's crying. That's not what it wants.
Okay, you just gave me another example. And this is what I want the viewers to really see. This is the mindset of a winner.
Thank you.
Right here. How I interpret what you're saying is opportunity. Change could be good for me.
Yep.
I'm curious. How does it work? How can I make it useful, right? Mm-hmm. It seems like you're constantly looking for ways. Okay, if everything changes, you're like, all right, well, how does the change help me? Right. How can I make the use of the change? You're infinitely curious towards the positive.
Right.
Like and I think that is what I see missing really in the last 10 years or so in America, where it's like people generally lost that spirit.
Right.
Right? And it's like, because there's challenges. I'm like, well, challenges are forever.
Right.
There will never be a time without challenges, right? Like, so this, to me, the point of life is that spirit of adventure. Right. It's like, if they took everything away, if the fire burned everything down, I'm like, well, I better make it happen with the one camera I saved. And then
exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm always like, therefore, how do I make it better?
Perfect example.
Yeah.
I was on Instagram and I was on scrolling. I love tennis shoes, love sneakers or whatever, and I saw on Nice Kicks that this guy that had a big major sneaker collection on the Palisades. God bless everybody in the Palisades that lost their homes. He lost his whole sneaker collection, and he was at his house and he was like looking through the robo, and he was like looking at it and he was like, man, this is gone, this was this was that, and he was like, and it's all gone. And I'm like, maybe not. So I just wrote him a little, I like my replies. I never like acting like I have the answer. Like, no, it's not. This is Jesus, and here's what you should do. But I was like, like, what's these sneakers really all about? You didn't wear them. You didn't wear all the sneakers every day. Most of the sneakers you probably don't even put them on. So take what you can salvage. Wear a mask when you do it. Wear some gloves when you do it. Make sure that the frame is insulated, and make a mural of it to remember this moment.
Oof. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Whatever happens,
collage.
make use of it.
Make use of it. Make use of it. You know what I'm saying? And then it may even become more valuable to you than they were when they were sitting there.
Yes. Literally, yes. Like that. I spent so many of my early years having these conversations with my friends. Just imagine that whatever is happening for you. Like even
how grateful are you?
Yeah.
How grateful? You say you're grateful?
Yeah.
How grateful are you?
Like I remember even like when I've been like arrested or when like cameras break or shit, life happens. People die or whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm not pretending it's good. I feel the pain, but then I'm like, okay, well, my belief is that all the pain is a gift for me to alchemize into something better.
Right.
So like you said, if it burned down, make a mural of the burn.
Well, when you go work out at the gym or whatever, does it feel good? The burn feels good? No, it's good for you.
Yeah.
It's conditioning. But we accept that because it's like we're making the choice. But when you don't have a choice and something happens to you, and all of a sudden it's not conditioning, it's punishment, it's karma, something happened to you, or maybe it happened for you. This is up to you. This is ultimately up to you. You're still breathing.
Yes.
You have room to fix it as long as you're still breathing.
Yes, because then it also it's that actually is the better selfish position.
Mm-hmm. It is. It is.
The most self-serving thing you could do is to make it all useful.
Being selfish also gets a bad rap too. It's what you're doing it for and what the outcome is and what you're hoping for. Yes. That's really what it comes down to. And a lot of people, it's like, we don't have a lot of time to deep dive into like, what the good selfish is and the bad kind of selfish. But it's like, there's a thing, like nothing is as simple as it seems. Nothing. even tripping and falling, even 1 + 1, all these things need to be explained. They all have properties. They all, and like if you appreciate something is to understand that there's more to it. And that's why it exists, to exist in itself.
Yes, that's part. If life is like a video game, then my
Right.
character's job is to experience all the levels.
Exactly.
So heartbreak is one of those levels, right? Like I have a dog. I love him. He's the first pet I ever had. And the other day I was doing shrooms and looking at him and crying, and I was like, one day he's gonna die. And I was
Right.
imagining,
Right.
And I was like, no, when he
Right.
dies, it's gonna be. But it's like, but that's the package.
Right.
The joy of having the dog is
Right.
inevitable with the pain of him dying eventually. Like it's
My mom
going
is getting older. My
Yes.
mom is getting older, and
Bro.
she's always been here for me. But sometimes she's forgetting things, and I can't help but to see that she's gonna be gone one day, and that pain hurts so bad. Oh, mom, the good times we had. Where
Yeah.
you going? Please don't leave. And she's gonna go anyway. And I start to cry when I hang up, so I screenshot that smile every day. So I talk to my mom. I screenshot her.
Yes.
I record her. She says, "Boy, don't record what I'm saying. I'm recording everything."
Dude, me too. I screen record our
Screen
FaceTime.
recording.
Yes.
It's just so beautiful.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want my memories when I can't remember anything. So for someone to press play for me and say, "Look at her. Her name was beautiful," and I'm like, "Yeah, who is she?"
Bro, that is, bro.
You know what
I
I'm
started
saying?
doing that a few years ago. When I go home to visit my mom, we'll be talking in the kitchen. I'll leave the phone on the corner without her noticing and just roll it for
Yeah.
like 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
And just have a moment. Eventually looking back at that, that's more than a photo. You're living.
You know, my glasses about to steam up, or everyone will be like, "Oh God."
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because I can't help but to see it. And every time I see it, just like, "Mom, you're beautiful." Did I ever tell you that story about Taj? I mean, do you remember this? And I'm like, for the 98,000th time, I remember.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
Did filming home videos, did that reconnect you with the love of filmmaking? And did you ever feel like you forgot to film personal videos because it felt like work?
Yeah, that did happen to me. I went through that stage too. But that brings me to like my son, right? So recently I released this video that felt, I think to people it felt a little dark. It was about nightmares, and and the reason why you don't really know what it's about is because when I was shooting it, like I was just shooting him. I was just kind of like shooting him having this experience. And then inside of that, I couldn't help it. The creative part of me was just like, man, this place is a little creepy. As beautiful it is, it's a little creepy. And then I heard the playback in slow motion, and I heard the voices of the other people that were experiencing it too at this museum, and it was like
Slow motion audio sounds.
Slow motion audio
Yeah.
was like crazy, and so it changed the context of everything for me. And I was like, as long as he doesn't know what's going on, or that he has these like having these darker thoughts in his head, he can still have a good time. I want him to still have a good time. So while he's running around these rooms enjoying everything, I know that I can manipulate this. Manipulation also gets a bad rap, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I can manipulate this to be something else, and I feel like that's where the true art is. That's where Dad starts having a lot of fun. You know what I mean? So I'm like, hey, and there's these 4 screens with this woman talking. I don't know what she's saying or anything like that. We're not going to hear her, so that's going to do something else, right? Lay down in front of it. Why is this kid laying down?
How long is this piece?
This piece is about it's about a minute. Just about a minute, if that.
Let's pull it up.
Okay.
This isn't my most official way of pulling it up, but I'll do a full screen record. We're going to do screen recording.
And shout out to TT. That's right, TT. Shout out to TT.
Okay,
This is commercial break. This is where we talk about people that are here, but you can't see them on camera. TT's right sitting over here to the left, and TT is the honeyman. What did TT do? TT took us to this experience, and the experience was great. We found a way to put it on tape.
Nice. You got to do more talking, bro. I feel like I want to produce.
Who, me? More talking?
I need to produce your podcast and do the Taj,
little do you
like,
know.
yeah.
Right now we are in the past, which is now right now we're in the present. What he said was in the past. Pretty soon we'll be in the future, looking back at this as the past, and then we'll say, "Oh my God, look where we are. We're at the podcast." And I'm like, "Remember you said that?"
I almost feel like your podcast should be like a mobile one. Like even when you're on set and working on stuff, that's when we film the episodes, and I just have a hot mic on you, and then just capture that, and then just like once a month cut all those things up into a thing, and then maybe you just react to it. And that's your channel.
You don't know how you're like right on the money.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we will.
But that's what hit me. My
Yeah.
intuition just said that. Now, okay, where can I find your thing?
What we're watching right now is the introduction to a father realizing that his son has a very particular talent, and that he can also fall into character really, really quick. Once he realized that I was filming him and I was going to put something together, because he's real smart, real intuitive, he started falling right into character. He lost his smile. He lost his smile, but he was having fun. And then I would be like, just stand there. And he could tell by the tone of my voice because he trusts me. You trust the director, right? And he would just, boom. He was just, and he's so good. He's way better than me. I was just like, he's like real good, man. Like he's scary good. Like,
okay,
really.
Let's watch this. And I can't wait to have kids so I can do that.
Oh man.
All right, let's watch this. Here we go. And play. Wait, I don't like it covering the title. Out the way. Back. And here we go. 3, 2, 1, play back.
What does this mean? What is with me? My dreams. My nightmares. Being able to photograph them and bring them into reality. Oh, I don't know if it's reality. Well, it's reality. It is. I mean, you seen it. You saw it. I just showed it to you. That's what I see when I'm sleeping. Yes. Well, how do I know that you didn't? Well, you don't have to. But it's true. You don't have to believe me. But you should. Well, why should I? I mean, from what I can see, it just looks like something that she probably...
Bro. Okay. I love so many things about this. I love the writing. I love the split of the screen, like those kinds of effects. That's the we really do got to work together. Yeah. That's I love that shit. I love your aesthetic with the red pops that I see a lot, like on your Instagram, how you have that face mask thing. Can I watch it one more time now?
Yeah.
I mean, I really like this. I see this as like a short vignette.
Here's the other thing.
It's like a full arc.
Here's the thing you should know is I'm not a really big fan of kaleidoscope. I've never have been, and so I think that like it's just
worked.
Like it worked. It worked because you have to. We're growing every day. We're changing every day, and we don't reference a lot of things. We don't go back and eat the olives that we said we hate. But your palate is changing, so you don't know. So let's see who you are now. Every once in a while, eat some olives,
bro. It's funny you say that because I hate olives.
Me too.
I'm like,
Me too. Me too. I thought I did until I had some green olives with some nice chips over at the Beverly Hills Hotel. And it was great.
And that changed everything.
And I was like, whoa. And I was like, yo, I looked at the bartender and I was like, yo, I like olives. And he was like, great.
Well, you know what these kinds of effects are great for? Because I did a lot of concert LED visuals for artists. And it's great to create patterns like that.
Right.
Where it's like you need it to fill the whole screen and be abstract. Like I love the writing too. Like this could be a whole commercial for something.
What does this mean? What is with me? My dreams. My nightmares. Being able to photograph them and bring them into reality. Oh, I don't know if it's reality. Well, it's reality. It is. I mean, you seen it. You saw it. I just showed it to you.
I love when you put is that Japanese font?
That's what I see when I'm sleeping.
Aesthetically, it looks so good.
Yes. Well, how do I know that you didn't? Well, you don't have to. But it's true. You don't have to believe me.
That's the doubt that people have.
But you should.
That your imagination only goes as far as that and it can't come into reality and have a place to live.
From what I can see, it just looks like something that she probably...
And that's AI right there. And that's not to say that shot is AI, but my son's screaming like that.
Yeah.
The terror. This is really like about this world changing really, really fast. So there's a few things about this. One of the things is I was thinking about the fear. It doesn't mean that I don't have this fear of AI. It doesn't mean that the fear doesn't exist. It just means that I've chosen to make sure that I don't make any decisions out of fear and that it doesn't control me.
Yes.
It doesn't stifle me. It doesn't keep me stagnant. You know what I'm saying? It's like the fear is real. It's something that you feel. It's a feeling.
Yes. It's
there and it poses fear. But fear is always saying this could happen. There's a possibility, but it hasn't happened.
Right. Because without fear, courage wouldn't exist.
Exactly.
Like a warrior still feels the fear, and they do it anyway.
Right.
Like
bravery it has nothing to do with the absence of fear. It has to do with what you do when you're facing it and what you do when you're afraid. You know what I mean? And how you push through. And so that's what this is. And so when I'm talking about the whole premise of this, if it were a movie, if I had to pitch this and say, this is the trailer, right? Let's just switch gears for a second.
Okay.
This is a story about a photographer that when he falls asleep, he has dreams. He can't decipher his dreams from his nightmares. But whenever he wakes up, he looks at his camera, and what he saw in his dreams are now in his camera roll.
Oh, that's dope.
They're now in his camera roll. But how does he convince people that aren't in his dreams with him, since this is a solo experience, that the things that are in his camera roll aren't things that he recorded onto his camera?
Imagine that when he's like about to like delete a card and he's just scrolling through like what's on this card, and then goes to like regular stuff. It's like, oh shit,
and it's all this stuff, and people are just like, So he's like, how do I know this? He's like, so the guy that he's talking to sounds like a therapist, maybe it's just subconscious. He's like, well, how do I know you just didn't do this on your phone? And you actually see where I cut it off. I cut off the voice. I cut off the voice, but I kept the caption on purpose because that's a very important part. And so I was like, don't pay attention to the voice. You're gonna see it. I left it there. He goes, it seems like this is something that you maybe just did on your phone. He goes, but I didn't do it on my phone. Wow. But I left that there, but I wanted the absence of that voice, that dominating voice, to make you read the caption and notice that the caption's there, but the voice isn't, so that you would be forced to look at that. You know what I'm saying? That part. And that's the thing, is that like, this is just something you did on your phone, or this is just something you did through AI, or this is just something. And it's like, no, my friend. I put in that prompt. And if you put in the prompt on your AI, it may not be the same. If you didn't put the comma right there, something could happen. There's still this individualism that exists in this. So I'm here, you know what I mean? And you can't teach taste. So AI that.
Yeah, it's funny. We were just talking about this, that like whenever I'm hiring a DP or an editor, it's not the inclusion of good shots that make me hire them, but it's the exclusion of bad shots.
Yeah.
Like if somebody leaves in a bad shot, I'm like, no. Right. Even if they had 9 great shots, if you had the guts to leave that shitty,
right?
No, right?
Right.
And that's part of the taste, right? So somebody using AI could make 100 different shots, but the taste is them picking which ones are not good. Even if they look perfect for AI, they have to have that umph.
Right.
That is it. I agree, because to me, I envision the best case scenario for AI eventually is you just have an idea for something, and then from your brain, it comes out. So then it's who's tapped into the idea, who's more tapped into the whatever.
We've been here before. We've been here before with when the red camera came in, and we were all, and those was people that like me that came in shooting on a RE416s and 435 shooting film, and it was like, oh, you guys think you can just run 60 all day? What about film count and and like, oh, you think you could just practice and just keep going and just have shoot days all day, shoot for 24 hours a day and just run through footage? And that's not the way it works. That's not the real thing of film. Oh, okay, now we've forgotten about that and we've taken the place of it. So guess what now? Digital, you digital cheaters.
Yeah.
You're now the Rembrandts.
Exactly. And it keeps going. And it never ends, because after this, we'll have the humans that are human cyborgs that have the neural
Exactly. They're going to go like this, close their eyes, it's just going to come up hologram.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And we're like, oh my God, you should be using AI. We're the real ones. Like,
Yes, and it keeps going.
It keeps going, bro. It keeps going.
But you know what? It doesn't mean that there isn't wisdom to be retrieved from the past.
Right.
Like, because when you are shooting on film, you have to be sure that you're shooting the right shit.
Right.
You have to give them great direction, because you might only have time for 3 takes.
Right.
So there is a beauty to that, that we can extract.
There's a tool. There's an element. There's a variable that from the existence of time, since Adam and Eve since they laid eyes on each other and existence was there. There's something there that streamlines all the way through us, and I think that's the ability to care about each other.
Ooh.
And that's it. And that's the ability to care about each other. And that thing right there, no matter what tool you're using, as long as you're caring about other people, as long as there's some selflessness to you and there's humility, you're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. It's when you lose that and you lose it to fear will gobble it. It will gobble it up and make you worry only about yourself. And then you'll be gone.
That's the trailer right there. That needs to be on a billboard everywhere. Bro, yes. Yes, that should be what is being programmed into everybody's minds, right? Because it's like, because even best case scenario, what if everything goes great, but then a volcano goes off, and for that reason we lose electricity and we're off the grid?
Right.
Well, then I guess we're back to drawing pictures and farming then let's be creative with that.
Right.
Let's get some real creative, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you got to keep going with it, right? I want to feel like I'm using my creativity and solving problems, right? Like, that's no matter what changes. And
I still had an artist that was like, oh man, when can I get the video? When can I get the video? The video's gotta drop. The AI video. And I was like, yo, okay, can we also play that too?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, because I didn't know that you could do that. And,
Yeah.
you know, I need to check my text messages, especially when I know I'm going to be on Brazil show that day. Okay.
is it on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on. You should probably pull it off my Instagram. It's on my Instagram. It's probably on YouTube too. But I sent it to the artist. But I had to call the artist and I had to say something to him that I was like, look, man, this is, no offense, this isn't just about you. And he wasn't being selfish. He was being very patient.
Right.
But I was like, there's something else here that I can't explain to you right now, but you're going to be a part of something. And it's going to start with this. It's something that I'm showing other directors. Now, you would have to know me, and this is why I came on your show, because your show has this ability to really get to the core of things. And so I was like, I need to go on Brazil's show, and I need to tell him what I've discovered about AI. So this is an announcement. I'm here because this is an announcement to all of you that are worried, and your camera's collecting dust, and you're treating the people around you like shit because you're worried that your light is dimming. You dim your own light. So this is it. This is the rain. If this is the rain, this is how you find out who you are. It's like right now, okay? This is how you find out who you are right now. Welcome it. Welcome the things that are here because they are here. Okay, this is our house. This is all of our houses. Okay, let it in. You gotta let it in. It's knocking. So you gotta let it in, man. All right? But you still can show who you are. It's up to you to figure out how to do that. But it's there, and if you don't do it, it is on you.
Yeah. And nobody says you can't shoot on film. You still can.
You still can.
You can still ride your horse to work if you want to.
There's still going to be people that's like, this is AI, we don't want it. There's still going to be those people out there that are like, if you know.
AI free.
Yeah, AI free. You know what I'm saying? It's AI free. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to AI me. It's going to be, maybe you're on that side of it. You know what I'm saying? But like, hey, I want to be on the side of being able to still affect people. I'm only asking the same question. My request hasn't changed with God. Just allow me to participate in affecting the world, please.
Oh, I love that.
That's it.
Oh, I'm going to borrow that in my prayers.
That's it. I just want to continue to be able to create and affect the world. Please. That's it. However you want me to do it, whatever you bring my way, I will welcome it. And I will look at it for what it is, and and I'm here. I'm here for it. Okay. So just, I know that there's been some people that have fallen off when I came into the house, and people left out the back door because it was like, oh, here's this guy now. Photoshop. Here's this guy. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mr.
like,
Digital Camera.
Mr. Digital Camera. And they walked out the back door, but that's on them.
Facts. Either stay in the game or don't stay in the game. If the game changes, you got to keep going with it.
Yeah. Maybe it's not just your work that shows like who you are. Maybe it's your decisions to stay or leave. Maybe this comes down to more than just your cameras and what you can do and how you understand anamorphic and how you understand your sensors and all the stuff you do when you go to to what's this thing called camera tech or whatever. Like maybe it's more than that. Geniuses. Maybe the genius is by thinking with your heart.
Fucking A. So true. What am I looking for? What's the name of the song?
Okay, so it's called Redemption. And it's King NTG.
That rant you just went on was amazing. That's trailer material right there. I'm gonna put some drums behind it.
I told you I was coming here for a reason. Remember, I called you. Mind you, I called. I've been here before. I was like, yo, man, I think we need to talk because you have to pick where you want to, you know what I mean? Give your speech. Like Martin Luther King didn't give "I Have a Dream." Not saying I'm Martin Luther King. He didn't give "I Have a Dream" like in his backyard. He's like, I think this is for here.
Oh man, that's a great compliment. That's fucking. Hey, I like this is a way it felt right for
the comments, they're going to be like, he think he Martin Luther King. That's what they're going to get out of all of this. Okay, so what we're about to see is me facing my own fears at the front door. AI came through like a tsunami, and I was standing at the shore like everybody else. And this is my decision to stay there and understand that when it was over, I would still be standing, but I wanted to see what was in the water. And this is Redemption. Perfect song.
And it's a music video made entirely in AI.
Entirely in AI. every single shot. This was the idea. I came together with 3 people, including the artist who makes 4. One of the people that I did the video with, her name was Jordan Ching. I did not know Jordan Ching before I did this video. I didn't even know she existed. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to see what the collaboration looked. I wanted to see the difference between a person that's been doing this for a long time and someone that you all may know and seen all my videos, and someone that was more so like at the time I had no clue what she was doing, and I just wanted to see what it looked like when we came together. I still haven't all the way figured out why I chose a person that I didn't know, but I think it has something to do with what AI is in its entirety, is a collection of our thoughts, the way that we think, the things that we've seen, and the fact that there are shots and things in here that came from people that aren't even on this world, that aren't even alive anymore.
Right, like the references, the training data,
the references,
AI
the training,
yeah.
the people that aren't even here anymore. So this is like, what is this? It's like the spirit and the ghost of like people.
And you're also a very intuitive guy. So you picked somebody you hadn't worked with. You told her not to even show you her work. And that's part of your genius as well. You just trust your intuition. You're just like, this is the one.
I just needed to see. I needed to see like what our common ground was going to be between me and someone that didn't have any experience from what I for what I understood, or my kind of experience. And I wouldn't let her show me anything. And she would ask me, "Did you see this thing I sent you?" And I'd say, "Oh yeah," but I didn't, because I needed her to keep going. I didn't want her to be discouraged because I wouldn't see her work. So I had to lie to her.
That's a useful lie.
It is.
Yeah, a good creative lie.
Yeah, because I didn't want to see. Because then I would know what to expect from her. Then I would have my own expectations.
Then it would put a bias on it.
Exactly.
And then, yeah. Okay, so this is the Redemption music video. This is your first full AI music video.
First full AI music video. That was the rule. The number one rule was it has to all be AI. We can't film anything. We can never pick up a camera. This has to be all AI, every single shot.
Okay.
Yep.
Here we go.
Lord, glory to God. What does it mean to gain the world if it means losing your soul? Like saying, Lord, give me the will and losing control. You crash when you speed in directions you shouldn't go. Your life wouldn't flash if you listened and took it slow. The rain brings mud in the sun, you should have known. You had everything that you needed and could have grown into something wise, slower to rise but rooted strong. Feeding generations to come from you alone. Do you believe in destiny? I've seen young men die from their father's legacy. I've seen moms cry and all the hood off of what's
I'm not going anywhere, Brazil. I'm not going anywhere.
You ever been to a killer's funeral? It's always confusing. We all wonder where they go for the things they was doing. Still we love him as a brother. It's crazy but true. He always said he was a demon. I think that he knew the past to praise, deliver him from all his wicked ways. Blunts burn, girls start twerking around the grave. From good kids gone bad, we always wonder why. You could redeem yourself if you ever want to try. Just know this though, the devil is a lie.
Woo.
The devil is a lie.
I love your title work, by the way.
Thank you, man.
The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. A big bag weighs on the darker side of your fears. The Lord knows your pain on the other side of your tears. You insecure playing the part inside of your peers. A 20-second play, but it cost you like 20 years. You made enough to rock Burberry at baby showers. Your daughter's life changes, it ain't the same without her.
He's amazing,
You miss
man.
first words, first steps, and birthdays. Visions of better times you see in the worst days. We all know that BMs can hurt you in worse ways. You throw away your gifts, you'll see what the curse pays. The greatest currency known to man, they take time. And good comes to those who wait, so take time. You know if they want you broke, they break minds. I gain wisdom from my mistakes, here take mine. When good men go bad, we wonder when and why. You could redeem yourself if you ever wanna try. Forget what they saying. The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie.
Done.
Wow. Okay. Wait. We gotta run that back. So that was really good, and I love what you said. You're like, you're not going anywhere, because that's the whole point. That was the whole point of your announcement. Is that like, you are still the artist. Doesn't matter if you're using a film camera, a digital camera, fucking crayons, AI, or some next shit.
I ain't fucking leaving.
Right.
What do you say?
In Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, I'm not
fucking leaving. He had all the pressure on him in the world, man. He had all the pressure in the world. He's like, I ain't fucking leaving. And you can see the way he said it was like, oh, if I say this, I really like no. It's like it's just that refusal. Like, well, who says?
Yeah.
Who says I gotta go anywhere? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going anywhere. This has allowed me to give. No, I have a relationship with the world. I'm not going anywhere. It's like you don't leave your kids, man. You don't abandon.
It's like, okay, so imagine the phrase. It sounds simple. Like the tool doesn't make the artist makes a tool, right? Let's take that phrase. Mm-hmm. You just did that for me right now because you made me like AI video better right now. It's not that AI made me like your videos better. You see what I'm saying? Like the way you put that together, it's making my mind spin even more, right? Because I was always on the cusp of entering your sphere, right? I've edited a lot of big music videos. I've done a few things for artists, but I haven't gotten to like be there the way you have, right? So I was always like, oh, I'm about to kind of trying to enter that, but you're already on the next thing and showing me the possibilities there. And I'm like, oh, wow. You made me see that there are things that you just couldn't do unless you had a humongous budget. Like this treatment would be impossible, really, for any artist. I don't think any artist Drake couldn't afford this video if it was to be shot.
That one shot alone, that was a guy in a field of gold. How the hell would you have done that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about like exactly how many different locations of it. Think about all the extras, all the extras on all the backgrounds and all the locations and everything. First of all, I would have never been done shooting this video. Like, if we were like really we've never been done shooting this video. So thank you, AI.
Yes.
Thank you. So thank you. Thank you, thank you to all of you. And here's the thing, you all participated in this. Anything you ever uploaded, an angle or something like that, like you're going to be a part of our work. You know what I'm saying? So I took the prompts for this. I took Jordan's prompts, I took my prompts, and I broke them down in just letters, so it looked like the Matrix.
Sick.
And I inserted her name in it, I inserted my name in it somewhere, so that you couldn't copy and paste it and just put, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what it is it's a vision of when it just looks like letters, right? It looks like letters, it just looks like a formula. And I put it on, and I went into Photoshop, and I took the prompts, took my time, capitalized everything, and I just made this one sheet, and that's what I gave to the artist as a thank you.
Oh, like the printout, almost like the binary code of the creativity. This was a much needed thing to say. Creators need to not give in to the fear. You can't escape feeling fear. We all feel it. We all feel, even if it was all going great, we all have a fear that we're not good enough and we won't be loved.
I did this because I was terrified.
Yes. Right? Like there's always the thing, you know what I mean? Of not having it, of having it and losing it or whatever it is, right? But this is the point. It's the soul that shines through. It's the shots that you chose not to put in there. Right?
It's the fact that I see the difference between this and some of my videos, but I see more of me. I see more of what's possible than anything. When it was done, I literally sat in the car and cried. It's like, whew. You're actually my friend. Okay, you came. Your shadow was looming. It was really long, man. That shadow was long. I thought you were just the same size as me, though, man. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yes.
Come on in.
Because AI needs you to tell it what to pick.
Yeah.
You know, I was just rewatching Interstellar recently, and you know that last Tesseract scene where he's going through the maze of all the memories, right? So when he's in that scene, you have seen it, right? Okay.
Oh no, man.
Okay. Go ahead. So his conversation with his AI robot, what they actually talk about there is there's infinite possibilities of scenes I could go into, but whatever being put me here didn't know which scene to pick. So they needed Matthew to be there because his heart knows which moments mean more to his daughter. So those are so it's like even the beings that could change time still needed the human's heart element to make those choices. That's the metaphor I'm seeing here.
Why does it get better and better every time you see it? Why did he choose to put it back in theaters 10 years later?
Yeah.
And the next 10 years, it'll be better. And the next 10 years, it'll be better. He is a genius, bro.
Yes.
He is literally like God sent.
Yes.
And I mean literally, bro. Like, I just called my mom about that. I was like, Mom, watch Interstellar. She's like, I've seen it already. I was like, no, watch it again. Watch it again. Every 10 years, watch it. And I was like, this movie, he's talking to us, man. He was sent to talk to us. Bro,
What a
I was just
masterpiece.
talking about that. When you said Interstellar, I was like, what? I was just talking to my mom about that. I was like, Mom, watch it again. Everything that you're going through in life, everything that's happened when you look back on it, everything that you've gotten over, people that are like, look, I'm telling you, it was already going to happen. I was like, look at it. He's talking to you. Oh, bro. Man.
Bro, it's so impactful in so many ways. There's that scene where he's trying to leave Gargantua, and she says, it's impossible. And he's like, no, it's necessary. That almost sums up like your spirit, right?
Bro, and it comes down just to humanity. She was like, it's past all the things, all the, the science, all the school and the education and being the greatest scientist and their accolades and being the astronaut and the thing, leaving the world and going to, how did you know? Because how did you know I'll come back? Because my father promised me.
Bro.
That's it.
And we need that. But the father still needed the technology of the rocket.
He
it's
did.
Not that you don't use the technology, but that the specialty of that soul.
Yes, of who we are at our core. That thing that nothing can, it's us. It's a unique thing about us. You are existing. You're here for a reason. And you're given this tool. Your heart is your compass. Like when I tell people to think with their heart, people are like, well, 1, 2, 3, you feel with your heart. No. I mean that. You don't have to correct me. Think with your heart. Like seriously, it's like you want to affect people, then nothing should stop you. Nothing, especially not a tool. Nothing should stop you from doing that. And so when I saw that and I showed it to people and I realized it touched people, I was like, whew.
That touched me seeing that because I prefer more lyrical hip hop, more like old school East Coast, super lyrical storytelling, more like a hip hop that felt like it was saying an important social message, but in a cool way. Right. That the lyrics of that had it. And those videos are the ones that in my mind I would like to do the most, but they have the lowest budgets.
Right.
There's never a big budget for an intellectual conscious, you know what I mean? Like Nas videos don't have the biggest budgets.
And I think that's for a reason though. I think for a reason too, right? I think for a reason so that you're left with these lyrics. They're better bear as possible as much. They better bear. You know what I mean? Like there's some good music, like that analog music. You listen to it, like there's a reason that like vinyl feels warm and it's physical. And imagine like hearing Nas. Imagine having a vinyl of like Nas's first album on vinyl, all acapella.
Side note, I feel like artists need to do more acapella moments in videos where the song drops out and you just hear the exact words you need to hear and then bring it back. Like it's just, man.
And you can have this, and you don't have to hide anything. Like you talk about your ideas. If you believe in yourself too, like put it out into the world. People are like, you keep your ideas sacred, or someone will steal it. And is it about you, man? Or is it more important that it goes out into the world? I'm not afraid of anybody, any of you.
Yes, because it's your belief in that you're the vessel.
Exactly.
So if you think you're gonna run out, now it's one thing if you have like a once in a lifetime patent for a thing that's like that, but rarely is it that.
Right.
Usually it's just like, bro, I have an idea for a restaurant. They stole it. It's like, bro, okay, sure. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't reinvent chicken. You know what I mean? It's like there's another one, right?
Right. I had banana bees, and then they came out with apple bees. Man, shit.
My first big feeling of that was when I was Tyga's videographer 11 years ago, and I had an ex-girlfriend of mine who had passed away a couple years before that.
I'm sorry.
And Tyga's first single was Far Away, and I wrote a treatment for it about him feeling like he's far away from his girlfriend, but really she's dead. That was like the whole idea for it. And I got all the way up to where it was like 3 weeks before shooting the video, but then the label felt that I wasn't an experienced enough director for it, and they just...
So they shot that thing at the beach.
Yeah, they literally just gave my treatment to the next director.
Who was the director? Was it Colin Tilley?
It's not, I think it's Chris Robinson's son.
Chris Robinson's son. Okay.
Yeah, he's really cool. We used to hang out back in the day. So it's like, I didn't take it personally or whatever, but it was just like that happened.
Right.
But in my mind, I was like, oh, that was such a personal thing. It went, but it's like, okay, but first of all, I could write a whole another treatment about her. It's not like I can never not be inspired by her death anymore.
Well,
it was just
had you not had that moment and you ran with that other theory that it was like, oh man, you got so caught up in what didn't happen for you?
Right. I could have just given up on videos. I could have been like, I'm never doing a video again.
You would have gave up, which would have never existed. This is never going to happen. The possibility is gone. It died with you and your bad attitude. It died with you and your selfishness. You know what I'm saying? And so the world would never see it. And here's the thing, they don't even know what they've missed. And that's the bad thing, right? You can look at something and it affects you either way it goes. You see something, you're like, oh, that was terrible, blah, 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 whatever. There's something positive in that too. It's helping develop your taste. You know what you don't like now. You know what I'm saying? But it is for someone because there's someone else that was like genius and it changed someone. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just participate, be honest about it so that you can have an actual conversation. Because when you're trying to deceive people, man, that's the only thing is like when you're trying to deceive people or you're just trying to make people happy, if everybody is clapping, you probably did something wrong.
Yeah. Because you're not really affecting anything important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like going like this. It's like, oh, I'm gonna make you happy, and it just ends up being like here. It's just mid. The worst grade to me ever is the C.
Right. A or F, really.
A or F, man.
Yeah.
Like seriously, A or F, man. Like seriously, So like, yeah, man. Like, oof.
Yeah, like most people don't kind of like Kanye's music. You're either
Right.
really into it or you're just like over it altogether.
Right.
Yeah. And I feel like our brain always wants to prove itself right. Mm-hmm. Right. So if I tell my brain that the end destination is that it's not supposed to work out for me, that everything that goes wrong, I'm like, see, I told you it's not supposed to work out. They took my treatment.
Exactly.
Like, everything went wrong. I've had business partners that took the money. My dad went to prison. People died. This thing happened. You're just like, oh, is this the universe telling me it's not going to happen? I could have interpreted it that way.
Right.
But my belief was always that like it's going to happen no matter what. So when things go wrong, I'm still frustrated. I'm still like,
right, exactly.
Fuck. But I'm frustrated because it's actually supposed to work.
Right,
so I'm just like, I'm going to get over this shit.
Right.
And then it'll work.
Right,
next
exactly.
time.
Right, next time. Exactly, bro.
That's just what it is. Like when I was young, I would bump my knee like on the coffee table. My mom would say it's for good luck. Everything is for good luck. No matter what happens, she's like, oh, that's for good luck. Or this is for good luck. So now I just look at it that way. It's just, otherwise, if I don't make it useful, it's useless.
It's useless. Exactly. Man.
Okay, I love snowboarding, right? I just got into it 2 years ago. I've accepted that I might get injured one day. Mm-hmm. In my mind, I'm like, I want to snowboard forever now. I love it. And maybe somewhere in there, I might break my foot for like 6 months. Okay, well, I'll get really better at some computer shit at that point. You know what I mean? It's like, I guess I'll be sitting down a lot.
Right.
I've accepted it. It's like, oh, this means I should never create. It's like, just accept the price that I'm willing to pay for it.
Right.
That's the spirit that I get from you. It's like, it's so inspiring to hear that, because usually everybody would say all the reasons that you get excited are the reasons they get discouraged. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, everything's changing. Oh, there's new technology. I don't have a good enough camera. Everybody has too good of a camera. I don't have enough computers. Everybody has AI. There's always it feels like most people are defending their own loss.
Right.
They want to argue with you about why it's inevitable that they're going to lose.
Right.
I'm like, why am I arguing with you about your win? I'm trying to tell you that you can win.
I think that's easier too. It's easier to, for some reason, easier to do that. It's just to be like, this is going to happen. And this always happens. And I have experience with this. And I have experience with that. No, because this always happens to me. There is one particular person that is so beautiful, such a beautiful person. It's nearby somewhere that has the weight of the world on her shoulders because she takes care of people. She's here, right? She takes care of people for a living. That's a lot of pressure.
Yes.
Like people that are dying. And I said, hey, have you ever had to, as we're getting to know each other, I said, have you ever had to, have you ever seen anyone die? She goes, I've given mouth to mouth as they were dying.
Fuck.
So I'm like, but so when she's frustrated about something else that has nothing to do with that, and she's like, no, I know this is gonna happen. It's not really based on that necessarily that thing, but she's seen the ultimate. She's been a part of like that ultimate.
She's seen where it could lead to.
Where it could lead to. Ultimately, like the thing that we all think we know what it's going to be like, but you don't know until it happens. It's just she's been as intimate with death, life and death as you can be.
Are you constantly working with people that are about to die? Or just coincidentally, some of those people have died?
Both.
Okay. I'm so interested in deathbed literature and people that are like about to lose it all. What is then their perspective on life?
Right.
Because that's what I always try to look for. I'm like, who has it worse than me?
Right.
And somehow found meaning in it. They're like, oh, you got 6 months left to live.
Well,
and then they become
choice,
the best father they can be, the best whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever mode that is, I'm trying to adopt that all the way around. So that I'm ready for it when that stuff does happen. 'Cause to assume that it's not going to get shitty is kind of is naive.
Right.
But to think that it's all shitty, then what's the point of living? If that's the case, it's like, like
that reflection. Yeah, it's something that you couldn't understand until you get there. That God reserves certain moments for people that are actually going through it. Like you won't know what it's like to be a parent until you're actually a parent. There's no way. There's no way. I don't care. Some people be like, I have a dog. It really pisses me off. But I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, no, it's not the same. Yeah, it is. And I'm like, don't know. Then I forgive them.
Yeah.
Because you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like to be what it's like to be that vulnerable, to have your heart on your sleeve every second for silence to worry you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, it's like, it's a whole nother thing, and it changes you. And so I have respect for the things that I don't know, because they're reserved for other people. So when we go through these things, and I'm like, don't say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't say that. Da, da, da. You know, I understand that that's from my vantage point. A lot of time, you know what I'm saying, for the things I believe. But she also has, been closer and had different experiences that I haven't had yet, and that always feels to me that may be that variable, and why if I'm being argumentative and I'm to the point of like, don't say that, and I'm frustrated that much, then there's something that I'm not taking into consideration. Because consideration will keep you calm. It will bring you to a place where you can be understanding and you can progress.
Yes. A lot of times, like you said, especially when you deal with other people, like you absorb the pain of the day, even if it's not your personal pain. If you dealt with somebody who's dealing with pain, you feel it. And then you just got all that stress on your shoulders. And then next thing you know, you're arguing about the salt or whatever.
Exactly. Just take a moment, man. Take a moment.
And there's a balance between, just to finish that subject, about with all this like excitement about your positivity, though, I do want to acknowledge that I think it's important for us to also acknowledge the pain, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not just pretending there's no problem.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Or being consumed by them, right? Like for me, I've always been the I'll make it happen somehow, that lately I've been getting better at expressing my pain.
After I wipe my eyes.
Yeah. Like a lot of times with my business partners and stuff, I'll suffer in silence and don't tell them that I'm like struggling with a thing, because I'm like, I'll figure it out. That's going too far one way. It's like, yes, I will figure it out, but also let them know, hey, just so you know, I'm dealing with this, right?
Right.
Acknowledging the pain is important, but also, what's your North Star?
What's your North Star? Exactly. My stepfather, so my biological father died in 2001, and it was at a time, I feel like in every man's life, he's growing up. I was 20 years old, and I was just really, like, he was just gone all of a sudden. It was just like, it was a very confusing thing, and I felt very alone, because it's something that it's a very particular. You can know someone whose father died, but it's a very particular emotion, because it was a very particular relationship, because it was a one-on-one relationship. It was a unique relationship. So while there could be a room full of people whose fathers died, you still feel alone.
Right, because it was your relationship.
It was my relationship with him. So that world felt like it was crumbling. You know what I mean? It had crumbled. So I'm just saying that I had a hard time dealing with that. And so I kind of like, when I realized I was alone, I didn't want anyone to really see my pain. So I kind of just did a whole bunch of things.
Isolated.
And I was playing football, and I threw the ball harder, and it was like harder at practice. And I was like, just everything was just like, and then Thanksgiving came along, and me and my stepfather, we went up to my brother's house in New York, and there wasn't enough room to stay there. And so we went to go stay at a hotel, just me and him, right? And we had a double bed, and I was laying in bed, and he was like, Taj, it's okay to cry. It's like, it was just like letting it out. But I guess my point is this. What I've learned, man, and I think I just want to end it after this. What I've learned is that I'm still here. And that was 23 years ago. And what you hear in me is being able to connect to that time, where the past and the present and the 23 years in the distance, I realize has nothing to do with how you feel about people, or the relationship that you had with people. That thing is as good as it was when he was here, when I could hug him. So I relate that to everything else that I do. And the great thing is that I'm never going to touch all of you by hand, or be able to hug all of you or anything like that. But to communicate with you is to have a relationship with you. And that's what makes me keep going, because I know I experience it. Like, I only need to, even when I read YouTube comments, I'm not looking to read them all to feel good about myself. I'm looking for where the true dialogue is. I'm not looking for how many likes or how many views.
Somebody that genuinely seems touched by it.
Genuinely seems touched by it and by the things that they say. I had an art show, and this kid, I had the least communication with him, because I just wanted to watch him from afar. Yeah. But someone came up to me and was like, there's this kid walking around explaining everything about your artwork. So I got closer, just close enough to hear him.
Yeah.
And he was nailing it. He was like, bang, this is this, and this is why he did this.
That's just blew
me away, bro. Just blew me away. And then I decided I didn't want to I don't want to mess it up. I may not be his kind of person, though. I may mess it up. So I just stayed away from him.
That must have felt amazing, though, to see that he got it.
He got it. I ignore him all the time on Instagram. I see you, man. I ignore him all the time. Because I'm just like, this is the relationship I want to have with you. I may not be that person. On that day that you contact me, I may be short and bland.
Yeah.
But who I really am is the person that you saw when you were explaining those things. That's why I ignore you.
That's also a great thing for people to know sometimes when they're being ignored. It's not out of disrespect.
It's not out of disrespect at all. It's just because you get it. And that's me at my core. And that's why I do it alone. I do artwork. I'm alone when I do these things. When I create art, I'm alone. I can't do it. If someone's in the room, I feel like when someone's in the room, I'm distracted. I tell people all the time, when someone's in the room, it's not that I can't, that they're a distraction. It's that when someone's in my company, I want to be able to give them the attention that they deserve because they're in my company. Your
mind is considering them.
It's considering them. I can't help it because it's the same mind that I work with, the same heart I work with when I'm doing the artwork. So this is where they, bam, run into each other. So if someone's in the room, I can't do it.
Yeah, because you need to consider your feelings fully and let it express.
Exactly. And it's so hard to explain to people without making them, you know what I'm saying? She'll be like, oh, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm like, no.
You can't help not consider
I
that.
can't.
Because you may want to yell or cry or whatever you want to express in that moment.
Yeah, walk around, bounce tennis, just whatever it is. I just need to know that I'm in this room of just that, if they had a camera on me in there, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know
exactly what you mean. It's like there's some work that I do that I love having people there, but other like that, where you want the truth to come out where you don't know. Yeah. Everything changes it. It's almost like that quantum physics principle. Like when you look at a certain is it a proton or something, when you look at it, it changes, right? The act of observing it changes what you're observing.
I'm not being a professional artist when I put out this artwork, by the way. When I put out music videos, the professionalism is me being able to create and design something that's a little artificial when I go on set. You know what I mean? When I go on set, where I can become a different person when I'm on set. The artwork itself is me, but I'm a different person when I go on set. But I'm not able to do that in my most intimate moments when I'm creating artwork which a label is not paying me for. No one's gonna. I'm not doing. I have the artist in consideration. I have a job there. Yeah. And that's why music videos, I love them. I do. But that's the reason why it's like, I think it's time for me to move forward to do something else, and maybe it doesn't need me as much as I like to pretend like it did. You know what I'm saying? Music videos, because it's just that I'm doing a music video on Friday, and even though it may not be the last music video that I do, right? That's not the point. So when I say that, and I've said it to a couple people, I was like, this might be the last one I do. I don't mean physically, I'll never do a music video again. I mean with the heart and the mind and the spirit that I had when I first came into it. And that doesn't mean I care any less. It just means that I'm aware that there's another door that I need to walk into and need to really be it's time for me to tell some stories. You have 11-minute music videos, Taj.
It's telling you something.
You know what I'm saying? It's telling me something. Yeah. So it's still for you. It's still there's another canvas. You know what I'm saying? There's something else for me to do, and there's a toll to pay for every bridge that you cross. There's a toll to pay. I don't mind the toll. I don't care what the price is. There's a toll to pay to get over a bridge. To experience it.
And it doesn't mean you have to never do videos again. It just means you have to walk through a new door.
Yeah,
right?
I have to walk through a new door, yeah.
And it's funny because, when I got into music videos, I imagine it was the same thing for you. They were a method of achieving the thing that you wanted. It was a quick way to do productions, often.
Right.
Try ideas. And it was an example. When I grew up, it was just commercials and music videos, the two ways you can make money. I was like, okay, great, until you do movies. So I always thought, okay, you do music videos to practice running sets to eventually do a thing.
Right.
And also to be a part of culture. If you like that song, you want to support it. But rarely did I get to do videos for the artist I like.
Right. I'm fulfilled. If I didn't do another music video and I had to look at my career, I'm proud of myself.
You've done major shit. You've done huge stuff. Incredible stuff.
From the huge things that I've done to the things that were huge for me.
Yes.
To the things that were huge for me, to the 2 videos that I did that didn't come out, to the Kendrick Lamar video, that there was just something that happened on set that had nothing to do with the creative. The creative was beautiful. It had something to do with a permit and something that happened. And then he went away on tour, and then we weren't able. And when he came back, he was platinum already. There's no reason to do it, and it crushed me. And I was like, and I still look at the trailer, and it's beautiful and everything. You know what I mean? But I'm like, oh, you know, God's like, no, now do you finally get it? Yeah, or do you feel the essence of this message? You know what I'm saying? And the essence of the message is that like, well, I say that it's not for me. Sometimes it's just for you. You know what I'm saying? Like this experience, you know, and it's like Money Trees. Like when I look at it, people are like, oh, what happened to the Money Trees video? I'm like, it's left in your imagination. Wow. You knew it was coming. The whole entire thing was, and I went out and talked about the video before it came out.
Yeah. Oh, so you're already getting juiced.
But I didn't want to tell people what happened, but I was kind of giving them this thing. So I gave them a base for them to use their own imaginations for what seems to be people's favorite song for him.
Yeah.
And so when I got that, it was just like, man, you are just like it's just for you.
Is it better to have shot and deleted than to have never shot at all?
Right, exactly. You know, so I was like, oh, you know what I mean? Or like, you know, it's like, or the video, or this video, or the other video that I did. There was always one person that was like, I want to be in your music video. I want to be in your music video. I want to be in your music video. And I'm like, I don't really pay attention to stuff like that. I'm just like, if it works, it works. If I feel it, then yeah. But this one time I was like, okay, fine. And I put this person in the music video. And I thought the video was great. What made the video not come out was a disagreement of something that I was refusing to do. I just refused to do it. And I was just like, no. And then that person had control and was like, oh, well, I'm just not going to put it out. As if they were punishing me. I don't know, whatever that was then. It didn't come out. And I had to tell that person that it wasn't going to come out. And then the person was like, okay, surprisingly. Was like, oh. And she's like, well, can I see it? And I'm like, yeah. And she was like, that's beautiful. And that's it. It wasn't for me or him, it was for her.
So that does answer the question. It's better to have shot and deleted than to have never shot.
It's like you just never know. You're just like, oh, really? And I was so terrified. I was like, oh man, she's gonna be da-da-da-da. She's gonna think da-da-da. All these fears and all this stuff that I had. Da-da-da. And then it was like, but eventually you're gonna have to. It's either gonna come out or it's not. You have to tell her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, it's not coming out. And I didn't have it. And it was embarrassing because I wasn't used to having that experience. And like, a video not coming out. I'm Taj, ego.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, if you lose that ego, that's a curtain and a cloud.
Yeah.
Clear skies, clear the skies, and you'll be able to see what this is all about. And you'll see it through someone else. Look at how happy this person is.
And that is a magical feeling because you can't fake that.
You can't fake that. It's like, it's not always about you, man. Just because you're a part of the story doesn't mean the story's about you. Every narrative that I've ever told in any music video, if it was a narrative, there's a storyline, it was about me.
Wow.
It was about me because I had this fear of I didn't go to film school and all this other stuff. So I was like, man, I don't really know how to tell stories. So I was just like, oh, so trying to hide. Sometimes guys like, oh, you can't hide, put you back out there. It's like, well, tell your stories. I was shooting something with Neo, this video part of the list. And he was like, and we were setting up for another scene. And he looked at me and he was like, we're in Eastern Europe. And he's like, man, you know this, you should tell the details. You know this story like really well. And I was looked at him and I was like, yeah. And I think that at the time, of course, I was like, this story is about me and a treatment.
Right.
Like, it's like, no, okay, therapy, no, next treatment. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, I understand these stories and the nuances and the things that make it really real.
What video was it?
Part of the list.
Ooh.
Neo, part of the list. And the names that I give characters, I mix the names up so that I don't put anybody on blast. So I'll name somebody something else because they were a part of the story. Like, her character's name was just my assistant. The story's not about my assistant, though.
Right.
The story's about someone else, but she was a part of my assistant was a part of my life at the time.
So you included the name of one, the story of the other.
I'm including people, and you know, but the story is about me, and usually things that I'm still trying to figure out. So I have to see them from a different vantage point.
Ooh, like the characters on a quest to
see
solve
the characters
a question.
On a quest, and I can see it, and I can figure things out easier that way because I don't have to go by memory. I can go by like, here's a constructed memory of like the things that, and through that, being honest about everything, you know, it was like Neo was wrong in this video. I was wrong with what I did in this story.
And it was supposed to show that. The art isn't supposed to fix it. It's supposed to show the humanity. It's supposed to
show the humanity.
Yeah.
This is not, and it wasn't a true, it wasn't necessarily a happy ending, but there was an ending.
Right, it was life.
And this is the way that things go.
Yes.
They can go. And this is how it went for me. And I learned something from it. And from there, I was just kind of like, oh, okay. All right. And then there's one video where I use the actual character that I went through it with, but the artist don't know. And the reason why the artist doesn't know, not just because I wanted to get the job, that's a part of it, but I wanted to get the job so that I could do what I needed to do for you and for everyone else. And that is to show you.
You cast the real person in the?
I cast the real person in it.
Oh, wow.
Before.
Did they know that they were getting cast and played
Yeah, they knew.
Themselves? Okay.
And I was like, you can never tell anybody this ever. Like, ever. And I'm like, I mean it. I mean, it's not because I'm going to get in trouble or anything like that. It's because you're gonna rob, you're gonna steal something from people if you do that, you know? And now enough time has gone by where I'm like, there's another mission. So now I'm telling people about that. So now I'm going to these recaps on my Instagram about videos.
Yeah.
And I FaceTime the person at the end of the video. So I show them the video or clips from it. And then I FaceTime the person. I'm like, and this is why, this is the truth about this. FaceTime the video.
I would love to help you produce those.
Yeah.
There's a cool way we can shoot that and cut all that. I love that kind of stuff. As a viewer, I want to watch that.
Oh, Brazil, I am here for a reason.
Yeah.
Today. It was like I have something to talk about for sure. I've had some life developments and some things that I've learned. Life developments equals to artist development. But I'm also here because I wanted to talk to you about something. So
I really appreciate how deep we get. I know you said you want to go soon, but I have a couple piercing questions I want to get in there.
That's just because I was crying.
No, for sure. Dude, this is.
I'm crying. I gotta go. Yeah.
This is I love our chats, man. Everything good there? Nice. It's already been an hour and a half. We're rocking. Departing from the creativity for a second. Lessons from fatherhood.
Yeah.
I'm aspiring to be a father one day. I definitely want to have kids. Mm-hmm. It's in my mind, for sure. Like, I have visions of it, right? Mm-hmm. What have you learned so far? Your son's 7 years old. What are some advice you can give to me, somebody who's going to be a father in the future? Things that have been valuable to you.
That what you want to do my son's mother is a great mother. She's great. She's a great mother. Like, she makes her whole entire life about him. She's a great mother. There are things that you're working and the decisions that you're making right now that are for him. Yes or no, because you haven't met him. He felt his little hands on your face, or seen him do movements that look like you, or see that he can trick you and be smarter than you sometimes, other times, and you can just see there's someone that you're protecting. So, but there are things that you're doing right now that you're gonna look back like, if I would have done this, he would have had this. And so, imagine him or her as much as you can. And that ultimately it's up to God. Some people are like, I don't want children. I'm not going to have children. I'm not going to bring them into this world. And I used to be like, well, that's selfish. And it's just like, well, it's also not for everybody. And understand you don't know the plan. So just because you feel this love, don't convince people of what they're missing.
Oof.
That's unfair.
I gotta take that advice.
That's unfair.
Yeah.
But if you are aspired to have children, then I hope that you do.
Thank you. I really do.
I hope that you do. And keep in mind that there's something that you don't know, something that you haven't experienced that is so special that you need to start protecting it now. Make the right decisions. Make the right decisions. Being in love is important. All relationships don't work out. But my son is beautiful. His mom is great. That situation is great. But there are some things that I wish that I would have considered or done. Something can end or not go the right way, and you're like, that didn't go the right way. And it's like, well, knowing what I know now, there's some things I would have done differently to just like, I would have implemented them to try to give him the things that I didn't have in the household. I had a great mom too. I had two dads, and they were both great.
Yeah.
One person told me how to, one person was the disciplinary. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I can stay up at night, the reason why I can work when I'm tired.
Yeah.
And the other person taught me how to open up a door for a woman. So, but I would just say, just be aware of everything that you do. Be aware and that they're going to see everything that you do. And they're going to look at that, and you can say who you are, but they're going to find out who you are.
Yes.
There's no hiding that. So be honest about them and show them, give them the respect. I give my son respect. When he takes shots at doing things, I think about when I try to take a shot at doing that same thing. And I look at him and we have conversations about it. I choose how to discipline him and when to discipline him, and that, he can trust me by not always getting in trouble.
Right.
If you fear me so much, and you don't think that I understand anything, then why would you trust me?
Right.
So like, oh, the old dinner rolls under the bed. Like I walked into his room. He wasn't supposed to be on his iPad. I walk in his room. He looks at me and throws his iPad and goes like this. It's so funny that I have to laugh, man. That's funny, man.
Yes.
That's funny. I'm laughing, but I'm telling him why I'm laughing. I'm taking that away from you. You took a shot, but you got to know that I saw you, man.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's bedtime. You know, and that I see that in our relationship. I see that developing in our relationship, that trust, and it's a balance of it. It's a balance. Nothing is 50. If it's 50-50, man, if you can do everything 50-50 and just make everything like perfect, then it ain't much of a project.
Right.
You know, it's not much of a project. I just know that I love him. I know that I'm trying. I know that he should never call me Taj. You know what I mean? And no matter what I do, I just know that he's the most beautiful thing I can ever create. No matter how many people that I touch or what I do here, this is secondary and all, you know, but he never asks me about what I do. He never seems to care. And then the other day, not the other day, this morning, what am I talking about? That was this morning because I took a nap. And for some reason, when I take a nap, it feels like that would happen the day before. It was this morning. He goes, Dad, when is Hip Hop Story coming on TV? You mean the movie I was in? Because he always asks me about like Spider-Man, when's the next Dogman, when's the Dogman coming? He's counting down days of Dogman. You know what I mean? He never asked me about the stuff that I do. And I'm like, that's cool because I'm just dad, you know?
Right.
When is Hip Hop Story coming out? And my scene in there is like literally 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know, but I'll find out. Yeah, I dropped him off. I was like, okay, son, have a good day. Yes. That
must have been awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. It was just out of nowhere. He just asked me that this morning. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like,
that. Are you optimistic for his future? Like, let's imagine that something happened and you couldn't give him any financial help whatsoever. Are you optimistic for his future based on who he is and how you feel about the world?
I am. What's the word past optimistic? What's the word that's over optimistic? Like when you're not just optimistic, but sure or confident or whatever it is that's better than optimistic, man. You get a thesaurus. I'm that because he's brave. He's giving. Woke up on Christmas morning, you know what I'm saying? Go over to his mom's house and he's not opening gifts and he's up. And I'm like, what are you doing? I was like, I thought you wouldn't be able to wait. He goes, no, I want to wait for everybody to get up. People bought me these gifts.
Wow.
What? Then I don't always show him that I'm shocked by something because then he may think that that's not what he should be, you know? And I was just like, oh, you're better than me.
Yeah, I was definitely like, let me open my gift.
What are you talking about? Can I just open up one? Can I just open up one, please? I know it's like December 14th, but please, like, just one. I'm taking razor blades and looking at the corners and stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I try to shake it.
And he's like, I know people want to experience this, so I'm just gonna wait for everybody to get up.
Ooh, that's a great character quality.
He just turned 7.
Okay, part 2 of that question. Okay, so I know you're very confident about him.
Yeah.
Are you optimistic about other kids being able to succeed?
Other people's kids?
Yes, like the other people that are like in middle school, about to go to high school, whatever, like that era, do you think they're prepared to win?
Yeah, I think they're prepared to win because they've proven some things. They were saying things to us, to our generation, and our generation was saying things. Like there has to be a place where we can look at our parents and respect them enough to look at them and know that they know that they're wrong about something. And it's not their fault. Our parents are growing up with us. It's a different generation. They experience different things. Most of their parents' fears, their fears protect us in certain ways, but they're just trying to protect us from something that they experienced that was not good. Always. Right? But it was like, I didn't have to go to college.
Right.
Remember you said that if I didn't go to college, remember that whole thing? That's what they experienced.
Right.
You know
they were sincere but inaccurate.
Inaccurate. And so there's this place where you have to take the steering wheel. Your parents hand it over to you. And my mom actually said that to me. She was like, I wrote her this letter because she would let me go to a party. One time I was so mad. I'm 17. I'm 16 now, and I know the way of the world. Blah, blah, blah. And I wrote this whole entire thing. But I wrote this whole entire thing, and I was going to give her the letter, the handwritten one, but then I decided to email her. And it was the email part. I said the same exact thing. It was the fact that I emailed her And she knows that I wrote the letter because she found the letter. But I emailed her. There's a big difference. And she was just like, us kids, like,
Yeah.
maybe it's time for me to hand this over to you and just see
So
what you
it
can
worked.
do with it. It worked.
Literally.
And so she was like, I'm going to be in the car, but here's the wheel. You know what I mean?
So you're extrapolating that for the future. You're like, the next generation is
I'm
going to
just
be
saying,
the
yeah,
same.
this generation has showed us, like, this generation is like, I made $42 million on Twitch playing the thing that you say that I should
playing
put
video
down. It's
games
going to
is-
rot my
yeah.
mind. You're welcome. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing just fine. And I'm just saying that, like, there are things that are possible. I'm optimistic about this generation because they have embraced things. They don't know the world without the internet.
Yeah.
And I do. And some of the things that I hold on to, those are the things that make me old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And make me, you know, where it's like, okay, so I champion myself. I get really happy when I decide, I don't going nowhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? If it's just one particular thing, like this art world, there's the art world and things that I do as an artist, but I'm also like a person. And also, for some reason, still have envelopes in my sock drawer for some reason. Like, I still need to figure it out, you know? But I love this whole experience. Thank you, God.
Yeah. And embracing the new doesn't require letting go of the old.
No, it doesn't.
Like,
It
you
doesn't.
can own a Ferrari and a horse. Like, you can. There's no
Man,
law that says you
come
can't
on,
ride a
man.
horse. You know what I mean? It's just...
I Miss You by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes is always going to be a good song. And
Yeah.
anyone that hears that is going to be able to feel it. There's some things that remind you of that. They exist and they're always going to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are like, the Mona Lisa, I just don't get it. And I'm like, but you know what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what that is, right? And, well, I don't see why people are passing out. People have, man. Michael Jackson meant that much to people.
Yes.
He meant that much to people. He had that power exist. That person is not faking that. That these things really happen. That ambulance that was there, it wasn't for him.
Yeah. But you know what I loved about his intros? Talking about that, something that I love is when they do it right, the first minute or two of a concert or a movie or whatever, like how they open it. And Michael, from all the playback, I've never seen him live, but I've seen so much, I've studied it. He would pop out and hold. Like not even move his head. He'd be like, blah.
Yeah.
And then just hold like a minute. And then like, doof, start taking the glasses. And then just like, doosh.
Yeah.
Like, and just like, he'll put so much focus on that each little move means so much. Whereas a lot of times new artists are like, I have to do the most. I have to do a backflip as soon as I come out. It's like, not right away.
He was aware
Let
of
them
the
sizzle.
he was aware of the effect
Yeah.
that he had. And everything should have like the pros and the cons to it, right?
Yeah.
The one thing about Michael, and I love Michael Jackson, was I remember seeing him on this documentary, and they were following him through this. He was very, very lonely because at that point where your existence makes people pass out.
Yeah.
Like, have you
gotta
ever
be
walked?
weird.
It's gotta be weird, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, like look at me. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, in my lifetime, I've had people walk up to me with their reel in their hand and they're shaking.
Yeah.
I've had wives introduce me to their husbands that were following me around the mall. You know what I'm saying? Like, things like that. You know what I'm saying? But passing out, and people are gonna pass out. Like, I never had been like, yo, I'm going outside, call the ambulance.
I remember he had to rent out a grocery store with actors so he could feel what it's like to shop without nobody. Yeah.
Bro, do you blame him for being a dickhead sometimes to people, man? It's just like, how do you relate, man? It's like, and the thing that he really wants, I just want to climb trees. And people were laughing.
Yeah.
That's
I
what it
get
comes
it
down
now.
to. There's this, I make people pass out. And so it's no wonder that the one thing that he wants to be able to do is just to be a child.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I know people, oh, what about the things he did? You weren't there. Shut up.
Yeah. Nobody knows.
No one knows.
Right.
Okay, no one knows. You just it's just he's too large. You don't know.
Yeah. And there was also no good mental health
No, nothing.
apparatus back then.
Nothing. Nothing.
The phrase mental health is relatively new. I've been into psychology for a long time, but like the fact that mainstream people are talking about I have anxiety and all that, like rappers are saying like I'm anxious sometimes, that's a new thing.
It's a new thing.
Like we just brought down those walls like in the last decade. Like
That was just why we did The Therapist. I was trying to explain to everyone these labels, these networks, like, well, therapy should be confidential. And I'm like, no. That has to be broken so people can understand why it's important.
yes.
So we need YG and then we need Katy Perry.
Yeah.
And that's why I did that show.
When was that?
I did, I created The Therapist. I don't know if I ever told you
No,
that.
you never told me
I
that.
created the show The Therapist.
No shit.
I'm the creator of The Therapist.
Well, there's that.
And it was not because I got it all figured out, but because it's the message that therapy is important. And I needed Katy Perry to be called Catherine. I needed you to see the extraction from the superstars that we see
Right.
with 380 million followers and stuff like that, and they don't feel tangible. I need you to see them right here,
Yes.
right where we are, and it's not a lower thing; it's a different place.
Yes.
It's not higher or lower. That's all in your mind.
It's relatable.
It's relatable, and I need you to see that we all are going through it. No matter if we've sold, we've gone diamond.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or
It doesn't matter. They can still have, a bad knee problem, an argument with their mom or whatever. It's like they're still dealing with stuff.
anything is possible from the person that is passed. That for the person that passes out and overdoses and dies. Then it's a sad thing out on the corner on Skid Row, to the person that's living in, above the Hollywood sign. You know what I mean? With everything that they've ever wanted. There's a common line.
Yes.
Between those two, between the two.
They might both have heartbreaks.
They both have both have heartbreaks, and it's a lot about your reaction to things. It's not about what happens. Things are going to happen. It's about your reaction to them. Sometimes it's just the difference in your life, and those two people were just like the same thing. Something very similar may have happened, and it was just the breath that they took to make the decision, the moment.
Yeah, because one wrong decision could down spiral or up spiral.
So just take it seriously by trying and thinking about it. You've been given the tools. Just try. And bad things happen aren't a result of how bad you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Things are going to happen.
Sometimes you do everything right and bad shit still happens.
Just try. You've been given a gift. You're here. You're here. You're here, that alone.
Yes.
Just try.
And to me, that's the best feeling, is knowing that I did it right. Because on the reverse, there's times where you can get praised for something where you know you slacked off in, and I can even feel the praise. They're like, great video. I'm like, sure.
Talk about it, bro. Talk about it, bro. Talk about it, man. Even right now, I have the thought in my head of this thing that people praise me for all the time. They just want to talk about it all the time. And I'm like, there's the punishment there. It's in the praise of billions of people. Like, leave me alone about that. It was, the lighting wasn't that good. It was dead. It was flat. And also didn't really do this. And I don't even know why these people were doing flips. And and it really wasn't me. And I would have done it this way. We love it. We love it. We love it. We love it. More of that.
That is punishment. And they keep pointing out all the stuff you hate about it. You're like, oh, that's my worst lighting ever. You're like,
it's like this. It feels like everyone's saying, you're here. We're here talking to you, Taj, solely because you did this thing. And then no one's saying that, but it's like, it's like you have a sense of humor, man. God has a sense of humor.
So the scorecard is internal, and I think external is like a validation of it sometimes, right? But like, if I know it was great and they don't like it, I might be disappointed, but it's a different thing. It might be inconvenient, but in my mind, I'm like, well, they're wrong.
Right.
Because when I know it's good, you can't argue with me on it, right?
Right.
No.
Yeah,
it's like, I know it's good.
Yeah.
Your taste is bad.
Right,
Vice versa.
Yeah, that whole thing too. Let's talk about that. That whole thing where it's like, well, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, 99% of the time, but the 1%. Sometimes you look to understand that 1% or whatever percentage of it exists. Just like, no, this is good. This is good. I've turned things around before. I've been like, where I feel like I can walk out of the meeting where I'm like, is it my turn to present? Boom. See you later.
Yeah. And it comes off. It comes off in the way you stand and you breathe.
Right. Comes off. It's like, don't get confused like arrogance and, arrogance like with confidence. Don't confuse humility with having, with being negative. Some people are like, you don't celebrate yourself enough. You don't do this enough. You don't do that enough. And I'm just like, I am happy. And I do celebrate. And I do go, yes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like by myself, but also there's someone looking at me. There's a God. I believe in God. I have a relationship with God. I have a relationship with the universe. And it's, and how I see it and how I relate to it. He doesn't care if I have it all the way right. I'm like, look, I understand a few things and I look at it, I'm just like, okay, if I celebrate it, you know what I'm saying? I don't want you, if I celebrate in front of you, I don't want you to feel like I'm celebrating myself. But if there's a whole entire crowd full of people, it looks like you're just celebrating yourself. And so I'm just like, that's not where I was put here for. It doesn't mean I can't be celebrated. It doesn't mean that I'm not happy. It just means that I'm moving on to the next thing and I'm happy about it. But I've been given orders. Here are my orders.
Yes, because you recognize that you're in collaboration with the whole universe, God and everything else. That even if you were a genius, you still were a genius using technology you didn't invent and timing. And
You'll never hear me say that, and that's the most uncomfortable thing. People have like said that, like you're a genius, and a goat. I'm the greatest of all time. Like, bro, like
as an artist, we hate hearing compliments.
I hate hearing that, man. Like, I appreciate you. I appreciate that. I understand the sentiment. I appreciate the sentiment, and I really do. I don't want anyone to think that I don't appreciate it, but it's coming. But like Mike Tyson. But you didn't know I was going to say that. Mike Tyson, I listen to everything that he says. I watch everything. I try to watch everything that he took because he has experienced life from, he's put here for us. You may think he's an idiot sometimes. He has a lisp. He has a lisp for a reason that's been put there to challenge you a little bit. Listen to him, okay? He's been ultimately rich. He's seen the entire world. He's been a champion. He's been defeated. He's been humiliated. He said every time he walked into the ring, he was afraid. He is a living, walking symbol of everything that you can damn near experience, man. He's given life. He's had children. He had a little girl die in his house. His daughter died.
I didn't know that part.
His daughter died. She died. She was on a treadmill playing with her little brother, and a cord got caught around her neck. His daughter, and then this interviewer is like, "How have you gotten over that?" He goes, "I haven't. I haven't. Like I never will. Like it's like, but I'm still here." He has this understanding about what life is because he's been in prison. He's been called a rapist. He's been called a hero. He's been through so much, and then he gets in the ring and he fights the biggest fight of his fucking life at 58, and people are like, "Oh, Jake Paul, you're missing the point."
He survived all of
that.
And he's still going deeper in his talk to understand himself, his soul.
Everything, bro. He's a 58-year-old guy that smokes weed every day to medicate himself and to just be able to get through this thing that he understands at a level that most people won't get a chance to.
Yeah.
He's had to consume it all. And he's only 58.
He's felt like he said so many ups and downs.
So many ups. It's like his meter's like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just looking at him like, how could you not listen to him? Listen past that lisp.
Yes.
Listen past the things, he was the little girl's interviewing him, and she's like, they give kids the, so what does this do for your legacy? Here's the guy, I don't believe in legacy. It's just nothing, Legacy is just something we do for our ego. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. Those belts and all that stuff is just trash. It doesn't mean anything. He doesn't realize he's talking to a 12-year-old.
That was so epic, though.
It was so epic. It was so epic because I think that's going to resonate with her in that moment, and people, it's going to resonate with her. She's going to grow up. And she's going to take that into account, what he said.
And I think she could handle that. If it was a 5-year-old asking him that, they could even comprehend it.
God knows what he's doing.
I think it would have been patronizing to dumb down his own answer for her.
Exactly.
She has the chance to ask him a question. He's giving her, this is really what I'm thinking.
You told somebody you wanted to be an interviewer. You told somebody you wanted to do something. They put a mic in your hand. You get to interview Mike Tyson. You know how hard that is to interview Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
When this moment happens for you, it's like, everybody calm down, man.
Yeah.
He's talking to a 12-year-old. He's talking to someone that will eventually be 58.
And first of all, there are 12-year-olds somewhere that graduate college.
Right,
Kids can handle smart shit.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I used to love that show. I bet you didn't know I was going to say this. Doogie Howser.
Never saw it. I thought you were going to say smart guy.
Oh, yeah. Same thing.
Okay.
Same premise, right? Here's this person that has the intelligence, but nothing is more important than being able to grow up. And you've only been on this earth for so long. There's some things that you just can't, no matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter what degree you got at 12 years old.
Right. There's wisdom.
Here's what it's going to be like to kiss a girl for the first time.
Yeah.
That's what are we marveling at?
Yeah, man. It goes back to the thing that we started in this whole podcast with, which is why are we doing all this for? Right? So as we get near the closure of this conversation, what do you believe now you're doing it for?
I had the answer shortly after I left here the first time, and I was struggling with it before I came here the first time. I was a little late when I showed up because I wasn't ready to come in here. If you look at me, my hair is way grown out. I had a haircut appointment this morning. For some reason, I thought that it was at 11 o'clock. And I was so tired, I called an Uber there instead of driving. And I got there, my barber thought I was early. And he was like, bro, I've been waiting for you for an hour.
Oh, shit.
So I come here once again without my haircut. Right? Funny. But it's to let me know that some things are the same, but some things have changed.
Yes.
And the thing that's changed from me from then to now is the people that are around me. Truly love me. It's the my son growing up and me implementing things that were very hard to implement, things I had to accept, and I've seen the growth from it. So I'm just like, and I'm still here. It's like going nowhere.
Right.
You know what I'm
I'm fucking leaving.
I'm fucking leaving. You know what I'm saying? And it's challenged me, and it's like, okay, good. I've gotten everything. I've had the praise. I've had the applause. I've had the, you know what I'm saying? And the nominees are, I've had the, you know, I've had all of these things, and I've been celebrated. If no one clapped again, just let me participate, please.
Yeah.
That's it.
So how would you concise that? I was really following everything you just said. So you're going to keep creating because...
I'm going to keep creating because God tells me that's what I'm supposed to do. And you know, you get a job, you still get evaluations. Evaluations are based on like tests to see if you can make it to the next level. Soldiers get tested, man. How you think you become, you know, you got corporals to captains to generals. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, I'm still here on the front line. I've been hit a couple times, still here. I'm ready to lead in another way. Let me show you. And here's the test. It's called AI. Here you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, here you can be replaced, Taj. You can be replaced. Oh, people can do exactly what you do now. You're not special. You're not special. You're not special. But it's not about me. But it's not about me. But it's not about me. No, it's supposed to be about you. Oh, that's definitely not going to be because AI is here. What are you going to do? Taj, it's called artificial intelligence. Yeah, but Taj, but it's also made up of everything that, made up of other people and stuff like that. So there's some truth in it. Then you should build a relationship with it. And then that voice that's negative starts to tail away. And then I can't hear it anymore.
Man,
now I'm whole.
Thank you so much for coming today, man. That message, I think a lot of people need to hear that. People in general, but artists were so emotional and so in it that this was a soul message that people need to hear, bro. I needed to hear it.
Well, this time I was like, I'm going to go there. And I'm still the same person that showed up. I'm still dealing with some of the same things.
Yeah, well, that's life.
It's life.
That's also you having grace with yourself. It's like, I aspired to the most, but also forgot my keys again. Whoops, you know what I mean? Like, all right.
Literally.
Fuck around, build a rocket ship but forget the keys. It's like, we're about to go off. It's like, oh shit, where's the...
but one thing is I'm grateful. I'm grateful and I'm happy. And but there are certain places that you need to go that I was like, when I go back to Brazil's, I'm gonna go back when I really have something to say and I understand what it is and I have the experiences to some things to show, but I also have the experiences so that I can talk about this wholly. You can hear these things. You can hear the truth. You can feel the truth because I've been through it. And I'm not saying that I figured everything out, but one thing is that without a doubt is that fear is, your level of fear should never be the metric system for whether you do or you don't do. You do. Your fear is not, it's not the door closing. You know what I'm saying? It's not the door closing. It is the illumination of the door that you should go through. Oof. Light can blind you just as much as darkness can. You know what I'm saying? Just as much as darkness can. And when you're in the darkness, you look for the light.
Yes.
So why let that light that you're looking for all of a sudden become the darkness? Go through it. That's it.